Hello and welcome to chapter 1.1, What is a Business? And this is video 2 in this chapter. Now, last video, we covered all of those three learning objectives in red. Today, we're going to be talking about starting a business, challenges and opportunities, and then briefly talk about the business plan. So, firstly, what are the main functions of the business? So, this word business function has many meanings, but in this context, means what are the main functions or the main things that a business actually does. And normally, business is broken down into four parts. So, the first part is human resources. And this is when a business manages their personnel. This word is personnel. This is the employees within the business. And so they'll be managing the employees with things such as recruitment, so hiring staff, training, doing their contracts, and also trying to motivate employees. Finance accounts is managing the organization's money. Marketing is trying to identify and then satisfy what customers want and need. And then operations management is effectively how they go about producing the good or service that they're trying to sell. So, how do they buy the inputs, the resources, make sure it's quality, and also try and make it as efficient as possible. I'm just going to move myself again up to top right. There we go. And business is a decision making organization. The key thing here is that these parts of the business are interdependent. Interdependent means what the operations management department does will affect the finance department and all of these departments within here. For example, if the operations management department needs a new machine, how will they finance it? So they'll need to talk to the finance department. How can we go about buying it? If the marketing department needs a new chief designer, then they need to hire that person. So therefore, the human resources will have to go about doing that with the input of the operations management, of course. Now, the business management syllabus is also structured around these four parts, plus an introduction topic as well. So we will, of course, be doing all of these in a lot more depth. You could say that this is what we'll be doing for the next 2 years. So there's a statistic. I don't know if you can see that behind me. I'm just going to move myself again. There's a statistic. You see different statistics, but this is one I found. 50% of new businesses fail in the first 5 years. So what are some of the challenges that new businesses face? So we're just going to go through a number of challenges that businesses can face. The main one is financial. So when a business starts, they'll need startup capital. Startup capital means the money you have when you start the business. But then another one is lack of cash flow, or this word called liquidity. Again, these are terms that we'll do throughout the course. So this means that you don't have enough money to pay your bills or pay your employees, for example. Maybe you have a lack of customers because you're a new business, and then you have strong competition. So if you're going to enter in a market, it's likely, not necessarily, but likely that there's going to be a business already there you're going to have to compete against. Maybe you get your marketing wrong. So you have a bad product, you price it wrong. Maybe you hire the wrong people or you manage them poorly. You have high production costs. Generally, at the beginning, production costs are going to be higher. And then as businesses start to grow and they become more efficient and production costs will go down. But at the beginning, it's likely to be higher. There might be some legal problems. So there might be copyright issues. So maybe you produce a product which another business has got a copyright over and they have problems with you. This says environment problems. And then there's other things such as unforeseen things that happen that we cannot predict in advance. So if you started a business 4 years ago, just before the COVID pandemic, that was a pretty bad time to start a business. Maybe you had a really good business idea, but because of the pandemic, your business went bankrupt. So sometimes you can have a really good idea, but other things happen which mean that your business has problems. So then, with all these problems, why would someone start a business? Well, if your business is successful, then it's a very good way to make a lot of money. If you can be a business owner, it's a good way to make money. Maybe you inherited your business. So some of you maybe, will take over the family business, and that's why you have a business. And one other benefit is the autonomy. And like I say, this is one that does appeal to me. Is if you start your own business, then you don't have a boss because you are the boss as the owner. You can make those decisions. So you can choose what hours to work. You can choose how much to pay yourself. Not always, but you're obviously not going to pay yourself crazy amounts of money because that will harm the business. But in theory, you don't have to report to someone. And for a lot of people, that is attractive. Maybe you see it as a challenge, personal satisfaction, something about your self-esteem as well. The security is good. Again, because you're your own boss, you can't be fired. And it's also a way of providing for retirement, providing for your family, etc. And maybe you just have a hobby that you want to turn into your job and you've got a passion for what you're doing and you want to pursue that. So there are lots of other reasons why you might start a business, but those are some of them. Finally, if you are going to start a business, then you're going to want to write a business plan. If you've seen Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, then the people on there will hopefully have a business plan. And what is a business plan? Well, this is a document that basically sets out what are your plans for the business, what are your objectives, how you're going to make money, how you're going to get financing, etc. And what you're going to put into the business plan are as follows. So I'm just going to move me again. So you're going to put in, I can't move myself, there we go. You're going to put in firstly an executive summary, which is that covers the main parts of the business plan. You're going to want to put in how you're going to do the marketing and sales. So what is the product? Why will customers buy your product? How your business is going to sell to them. You're going to have to detail some human resource parts also. So who is the management team? What staff are you going to need to recruit? How much you're going to pay them, etc. Operations management. So where are you going to locate your shop? Where are you going to locate your factory? What machinery do you need? What IT systems do you use? And then financing also. Where's the startup money going to come from? How are you going to get financing? And also, you're probably going to want to project your profits and cash flow for the next 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, etc. If you're new to the subject and a lot of this, you can't understand some of this, that's okay. Again, in the next 2 years, we are going to be covering this in a lot more detail. We're going to look at some business plans over these 2 years. So if you're a bit lost with some of this, don't worry too much. This is only the beginning of the course. And then finally, why do we do a business plan? Well, firstly, it allows you to put your ideas onto paper. But maybe the main reason is to get investment. So if you have a business plan, then when you go and try and raise money and get people to invest in your business, you can give them the business plan, they can look at it, and it helps them decide whether they want to invest in the business. And it's especially true for startups who, maybe the owner can't put enough money in, so they're looking for additional finance. And if you've seen Dragon's Den and Shark Tank, this is what those people want to see. And if you don't have a business plan, a lot of investors won't be interested because it just shows that you have a lack of planning, if you like. And it also allows you to establish targets. So you can put your profit targets in there, and then allows you to say whether you've been successful or haven't met those objectives as well. Finally, it may be a way to motivate employees. So remember, we talked about you have to hire employees for your business. At the beginning, if you're a new company, it might be difficult to hire people because people generally want to work for bigger and more established businesses because it's safer. They're less likely to lose their job, if you like. But if you have a business plan, you can show that to potential employees and get them on board and get them to come and work for your business. Again, we will practice this. We'll look at some of these. But that is the end of the first chapter.